Alrighty, so we're going to continue part 2 of this little project. We're going to be doing the fish, we're going to be doing the waves, we're going to be doing the background that their little boat is going to be sitting in. But first, and here's our little 3D fish that we made at the end of the last video. And we'll be making more of those. But just a second ago, I went back and I was looking at Scooter's eye. And although I was pretty pleased with the idea of not adding the second eye, he also, I don't know, I just wanted to see what would happen if I added these lines. And didn't do a full eye, but just did a partial view. And I think it worked out well. It's basically a backwards C. I added a backwards C. Whoops. Let's see if I can get that right there. And then filled it in like this one with just lines so that he's got some darkness. We have an indication of an eye. And although I want to indicate he's happy, I'm still not comfortable adding a mouth. I think it just adds a certain silliness to it that I don't want. Predictability. And I don't like predictability. So I'm going to do the same thing on Honey Bear. I'm going to give him kind of a backwards, almost upside down C. Like that. So we've got the indication of an eye, but not the full button eye. And I'm just going to add some lines. Yeah, that's it. Some of the lines ran over into the nose. It doesn't matter. I still like it. So we're going to start adding some more detail, background and detail. We're going to hang on to these scraps that we had before because we're going to make fish. We're going to do all kinds of things. And we're going to name our boat. Now let me see. Ooh, that's a little bit bigger than a piece of paper, the illustration. But it's okay. We don't need a full background. We can actually play with this a couple of different ways and build a fully formed illustration that can be fun. But first, I'm thinking. Yeah, we're just going to stick with the paper. We're going to cut off, I'm going to have to cut off, depending on the size of your boat. It doesn't need to be as big as mine. This is a pretty big boat. None of this has to be the same size. None of this is exact. But I think right now I'm going to cut off the bottom part of the boat so it'll work better in the 8.5 by 11 just standard sheet of printing paper that I have. If I were working with my Bristol, I would just grab a bigger piece of drawing paper, but I'm working with what most people have. And that's just scrap paper, printing paper, writing paper, the back of bills, whatever. So there they are. There they are. I haven't erased any lines. I just want this to be a quick, fun project and not dwell on little things like the pencil lines. It's okay. Actually, we can do something really fun here. I know, I think I might want to, I don't know. All right, never mind. I'm going to stop talking. I'm just going to start drawing out some waves. They're not exact. But the boat is creating some waves. And we're going to make several rows of this, and these are going to be cut out and glued on. I'm going to come down a little bit further. Just draw waves. That's it. Just the tops of rectangles with some curve to them. I have a little mark there from something or other, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to make up 4 different sets of waves. So I have options. Okay, that's it. I'm going to take my brush pen, my Faber-Castell brush pen, as a tip. I hope you can see the tip. I know it's a little dark over here. The tip bends, and so I can play with thicknesses. Oop. I'm going to go thick to thin, thick to thin, oh, thin to thick. Oh, look, I went thick. Again, we're not stressing over this. We're not going into OCD heaven here over it. This is an antidote to all our worries. You know what? I'm going to turn it upside down. Wow. Why'd she do that? Just because. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. You know, when I was a kid, when I was a child, I was and into young adulthood, actually into adulthood, there was always a stress on being perfect, but it's somebody else's idea of perfect. Now I don't stress about it as much, especially when I'm creating. People don't like what you do, they don't like the imperfections, they can do it themselves. I'll tell you a story I don't share. I'm going to start cutting this out. I'm going to tell you a story I don't share very often. I was crocheting something for my son. Again, we're keeping distance between the lines and the cut. Just like that. Okay, so we get this wonderful edge of white. It really shows off the black and separates it from the rest of the illustration. When we're all done, you'll see it's charming. So I was crocheting something for my son. It was supposed to be a suit of a mesh vest because he wanted to be a king or a knight, one of those. So I was crocheting a very loose set of mesh vest rather. The loops, the actual crochet loops, were loose. Some were big, some were small. Some were very tight, some were very big. I wanted it to look to him like a handmade piece, something that had been made by a smithy back in Knight's time, where the rings may not have been perfect, the rings that made up this vest. And so I'm crocheting away, and I've almost got it done. And my mom, who was taught to crochet by her grandmother, came along and said, "That's horrible. You've got too many mistakes in there. Look at those loops. They should be even." She didn't ask. Didn't ask me what I was doing. She just grabbed it out of my hands, and here I am in my 30s making something for my son for Halloween. And grabbed it out of my hands and sat down and said, "This is the way you should be doing it." And she tore the whole thing apart. And started to redo it while lecturing me the whole time on perfection. Now that's the way she was taught. Her grandmother used to rip things out of her hands and redo them in front of her while lecturing her. Which means that her grandmother used to push her to her idea of perfection. Which means it went back and went back and went back. Generations. Or not. Could have just been someone being controlling somewhere. So it had to start somewhere. Anyway, my mother got done. She held it up and she said, "See, isn't that better? Isn't that better?" And I'm just looking at her and she starts yelling at me because I didn't have an answer for her. I was just upset. I was very upset. So anyway, I said, "Mom, I wasn't trying to make him a vest to wear to school or for dressy. I was just trying to make him a knight's costume." And I finally got to explain to her what I was doing. And she was mortified. Because I had been having fun and I was excited, and she had essentially ruined it. And I'm not saying that for sympathy. I'm not saying that for sympathy. I'm just saying, I'm trying to explain that sometimes people say really mean things without meaning to. Sometimes people have an idea of perfection in their heads. And believe the rest of the world should be living off of their idea of perfection, when in fact they have absolutely no idea what's going on. And I'm telling you that because, well, I was brought up to be perfect, and I'm not. I was never skinny enough, pretty enough, smart enough, talented enough. I was always too fat, too stupid. Too this, too that. People missed out on the opportunity to have fun. Like this. I don't want people to feel bad. I keep saying your lines aren't going to be perfect. I don't want people to feel bad because they've quote-unquote got imperfect lines, or an imperfect face, or an imperfect little boat, which I probably should have tilted a little bit. It's okay. That's what's going to make you you, are the imperfections. And that's apparently my word of the day. There's beauty in the imperfections, just like in my son's Halloween costume. You have to remember that when people are making fun of you or lecturing. You probably had it done to them, and that's all they know. So, as you can see, I'm making the waves. I've got a couple different layers of waves going now. We've got the one long stretch, and then I'm adding another little section of waves. I don't want them lining up though. I want the waves to stagger a bit. All right, I'm going to put this one to the side, that little set to the side. I want a couple of staggering ones up front. Little staggering waves. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Notice I'm not redrawing to fit my narrative here. You probably hear my washing machine in the background. I ate. I showered. I made my bed. I put my artwork out front for my neighbors. And then I started some laundry. So I'm staying productive while we're all kind of stuck at home. But before I allowed myself to come back to this, this is a reward for doing my job well, for doing my work. All right, so we've got some waves, but we need more waves. We need waves in this background. Now I did glue this down, but the glue isn't going to dry. Oh, it did dry. It's, but it's okay. We can pull it up and re-glue it. Pardon me. I've tried having waves where they're crashing on the front of the boat, but I find it kind of distracting. So I'm just going to add, there, I'm just going to add that little guy. It's kind of cute. Re-glue that. Don't be afraid to pull things up and rethink. It's okay. Oh shoot, I forgot. I didn't draw the background. Oh, and a numbnut. Okay, I'm gonna pull this off. Oh my god. Yeah, it's gonna be okay. It's not that big a deal. There. Alright, we've only got a little bit of damage. It's not a big deal. Alright, we're going to keep this one as scrap paper. Pick up another piece. Forgot, I wanted to draw the background. When I was growing up, I watched a lot of Bugs Bunny cartoons. And Bugs Bunny cartoons were drawn in layers like this. I believe on acetate, which is something else I use. It's a clear film. I draw on it. I use aerosol paints on it. But we're just going to use what we have, which is paper. So right now, what I'm going to do is draw in some clouds. Those are just lines, right? Just curvy lines. Just curvy lines for clouds. Need more. No. We don't want to overdo it, so I'm not going to add more lines. I'm going to use the medium-sized point Faber-Castell pen. Faber-Castell. That pen. Woo! And these are clouds, so they don't have to be solid. They can have all those little dots that they do right there. Okay? Remember, this is fun. This is light. And this is actually going to lead to other projects. Yeah? Dots and dots. Lines and dots. Like Morse code. Okay. There are my clouds. But we also need a horizon. We need the water to have a horizon. So I need something in the background. Oh, didn't quite. Yes, I did. Did I finish him? I guess I did. I didn't finish that little arm there. Let me just put in a line for his arm. There we go. A little bit more of a line for his torso. Right here. Okay, now I am going to grab my ruler because I want the horizon to be straight-ish. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight. If you don't have a ruler, you don't have one. In fact, I'm going to grab my messed up piece of paper just in case you don't have a ruler. I'm going to make, this is where I put my horizon line. I decided it would work well with the boats, so I'm doing that. I got 2 lines on a straight piece of paper. That's it. Since we have that, you may not have a ruler. Let's go that way. Now we can do this. There. We have a horizon line. And we don't see most of it, but it's there. We're going to do this. I think we're going to go back to, that was the brush pen I picked up, but we're going to go back to the medium-sized pen. So it's just a little bit thinner. Again, this doesn't have to be straight. This is water. Water has a lot of movement. So we're going to allow it to have movement. Oh, and this just gave me another idea. Now, in the background on this particular illustration, I put in a lot of lines for the sky. We're not going to do that today. We're not going to worry about that. What we're going to do is draw some waves. Oh, they may not be able to be seen. We should have some movement up there, but you may not be able to see it. So we're not going to worry about putting waves in the background. I really made the boat pretty big. The boat and Scooter and Honey Bear kind of big. So we're going to fill in just a few more lines for water. Look at how quick I'm going. This isn't high concentration. They can be uneven, they can be fat, they can be thin, they can be dots. Okay. Okay, I need to go down lower because I got to see right there. Where's that piece of paper? Okay. Good. Like I said, most of this isn't going to be seen unless we decide to put Scooter and Honey Bear, attach them to paper towel roll holders and paper towel roll holders. Ah, my washer is at work. Yeah, not sure I agree with the lines in the background. You know what? I think we're going to do this. Let's go ahead and make some big waves. We're not measuring. We're just going to make sure that we're kind of straight, kind of even. Again, using just our scrap piece of paper. Making those little dashes. Measuring out without measuring out is going to help us. I don't know if that makes sense. Some of them coming up, some going down. Let's check something really quick. Glowing those little waves down. You know what? Let's attach the clouds right there. Back to the medium pen. Okay, so now we've got the water in the background, whether it's ocean or lake. I think maybe we'll attach a couple of these. And when we're all done, you're going to have something that you can color, or if you have access to a printer, you can print it, you can copy it, and then you've got something you can color for a long time. If you've done it in black and white. If you haven't, that's okay too. Okay, there's that. So I got two separate ideas going on right now. I don't have any paper towel rolls, I don't think, to hold that up. Although that just might work. Yep, let's go with it. If you have any toilet paper rolls, grab them. Okay. Clouds up, waves down. We're going to do this. I'm going to glue on some paper towel rolls. They're going to help this stand up like pillars on a building. Hopefully the paper's stiff enough. Okay, put that to the side to dry. Come back to this little doodad. So we still have more work to do on this one. First we're going to give part of the boat a little bit of texture, indicate that maybe it was painted a color. You don't have to do this. I'm just going to do it. And again, it's just lines. God, listen to that washing machine. Poor little washing machine. Okay. All right, there they are. Let's check on this, see if it's drying. Those glue sticks usually dry pretty fast. And look at it, stands up. How cool is that? And we could decide to bend it, but we've got a backdrop now. Oh, this is so exciting. This is so very exciting. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut, I tore this. So I'm just gonna cut that off. I think, let's leave this and see how this end works. But we're gonna get to work on these little fish. We're getting there. Here's another piece of scrap paper. So we're just going to draw more fish. Ready? They can have their mouths open and be smiling. You don't have to. I like my open mouth smiling fish. So we've got an oval. Sorry, kind of speeding ahead. An oval. An oval. Watch. There's the top of his mouth, that's his upper lip. There's his bottom lip. His eye, and fin. But we take the two ovals and connect them with an arc, with a rainbow shape. Okay? Oh, I forgot. And they have fins on the side. I forgot to give him a little fin on the side. Alright. So we've got that one in pencil. I'm grabbing my brush pen again. I like to do the eye first. Smile. Let's see. It's fin. This might be hard for somebody who's left-handed to follow me. I apologize. I am very, very right-handed. I tried being ambidextrous, but I'm not. I cannot write or draw with both hands, or paint. There's our fish. But we're going to make a few more of these guys. And there's his eye. Again, it's just a few lines within the circle. Let's give this guy a fin, too. They need their fins like the boat. It needs a rudder to help them direct their bodies. So we get two fish. Grab another scrap of paper. Once again, oval, oval. Like a really long triangle right there. A smile. Whoop. I think we're going to name this one Herman. It's got a little bit different than the other fish. It almost looks like a sock puppet. The way it's shaped. That could be my thumb. That could be, or a mitten. There's where the fingers fit in a mitten. There's the arc. So we connected the two ovals with an arc. This top fin has some lines. A little fin that keeps him swimming. Has to go on, and it's just some more lines. There's Herman. mix a little bit of Herman. Dark. Pencil line's too dark. Now we're going to cut them out. Again, not cutting right on the line. That's not necessary. Just kind of cutting around the whole body. I actually do projects with trees where I do this, and the leaves are a little bit bigger, but they're simple, so we're not stressing out about cutting. It's not a big, long project. Full of detail and frustration. Cutting out the second fish we made right now while the washing machine is on spin. I'm going to take my pen and fill in Herman's eye, because I kind of forgot. Poor little man. Poor little fishies. Okay, we're getting towards the end. I'm just going to erase a couple of lines. I'm not going to stress over it. This isn't about stress. Ooh, I'm sorry. Sorry, honey bear. There we go. Ooh, sorry, buddy. Ooh, I forgot something. How long? Oh, we've got that plenty of time. I need to name the boat. So I'm going to make a little sign for the boat. Again, I'm not measuring. I'm not going to worry. Just going to make sure that it's above the waves, so we can see the name. When you have a boat, it has to be registered. It gets a specific name, so the Coast Guard or whoever knows, and the town knows it's your boat. Now, I have other characters in my town who like to sail and be on boats, but this is the primary one in my story. Scooter lets other people use it because he's kind. All right, so the lettering is one of the hardest things. This is how I do. Here's our sign. It's a rectangle. What I do, I used to do signs for Trader Joe's, and actually for a lot of people I did signs. This is where I figured out the formula. I split it in half with a line. This is what we're going to write, is be kind, not SS be kind. We're just going to call it the be kind. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters and a space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's roughly 3. We're going to have to split this in 2. The 7 letters into 2, which would be 3.5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you may not understand right now, but it'll make sense in a minute. So the K is at the 3.5 mark. BE over here. We get a space, K-I-N-D. We're going to put the K slightly to the left of that line, because the next letter is an I, and the I is not very big. In fact, it's very small. I'm going to take my medium pen again. Ooh, sorry. No, I'm not. I'm going to write the words out, or the letters out. B. Just kind of make sure this is going to work. Okay. Filling in with my pen, whatever you're using. You can call the boat whatever you like, by the way. You don't have to call it the bee kind. I like the be kind because I like people to be kind, even when other people are not. You do the best you can to be kind. Even when people are being mean, do your best. All right. That's it. Oh, you know what? I'm going to add little lines to the top and the bottom of my eye. Dooba-doo, and the end. Dooba-doo. So that's what tells everybody in town the name of the boat. And they will know that it belongs to their mayor scooter. I'm going to cut that out, again, right now down the line. Giving a little space. I'm not even cutting a perfect rectangle. Just cutting off the excess paper. Okay. I'm going to glue it right there. We're almost done. We are almost done. Okay. All right, remember the little fish? We put a piece of paper, we rolled up a piece of paper like the toilet paper rolls and put it on the back of this little fish. I'm going to glue him here. Oh, I don't want him really right at the motor. That wouldn't be a good idea. I'm going to put him right, I think I'm going to put him right there, but you're going to see, this comes out really cool. This whole thing is going to stand up. And it's going to feel more like a real project than just a coloring project. You're going to be really proud when you're done, I think. At least you're going to know you had, or at least you had some fun. Let's go there. Where are my other little fish? Where's Herman? There he is. Now, don't forget, you may want to photocopy this so you can color it and so you have printouts of it and you can just make this over and over again. You don't have to. What we're going to do too is I want to have fish kind of swimming alongside the boat and in different sets of waves. So we're going to take this rather gigantor fish that I made and have him swimming there. Oh, no, maybe not. Let's see what works best. Little Herman. Put in there. And then put his pal over there. Look at that. So it's almost like he's leading the boat. That's kind of fun. First, we're not going to glue them down. We're just going to take another piece of paper, roll it up like the toilet paper roll. We're going to glue it onto the back. It doesn't have to be perfectly round. I keep squishing mine because I have big fat fingers. My big grown-up fingers, rather. I have fingers. Alright, so I'm taking that little paper roll, going to glue it to the back of the fish, boink, boink, boink. My little dollar store glue stick. Alright, where did I have him? I think I had Herman right about there. Look at, he's so happy. He's swimming with all his friends. Gonna put some glue on the back. And yeah, that flattened the paper out a little bit. It's okay. Oh, excuse me, it's okay. Oh, I just burped up celery. Look at, he's so happy. Look, he's jumping off the page, almost literally. Right, we're gonna glue his little friend down over here. It's almost like the fish are playing tag, so they've got their own separate story going on here. Maybe they each have their own names, like Herman has his, but they've got their own story going on in this illustration. Where Honey Bear and Scooter have their stories, the fish have their own stories. That's something we can think about. All right, we're going to flip it over. We're going to attach toilet paper rolls. So I've got two more. One still has toilet paper on it. And it's okay. Hopefully this is going to be stiff enough. We're going to give it a try. Oh, I put a lot on. We're just going to see what happens. How's that? Ooh, try putting the glue side down. Yeah, I usually work with much stiffer paper, so I'm guaranteed of it standing up when I do this. If I do this. We're using what we have. So we're using ordinary paper, and we'll just find out what happens. Either way, it's okay. Press it down. Just press it down, make sure that the glue and the paper meet. Are all smushed together. Ooh, I still have an extra wave. Let's see. Oh. Oh, no, you can't really see it. Yeah. It's standing up good enough. What we can always do is add an extra piece of paper to the back of Honey Bear because his poor little head is bobbing around because I made it too big. Or bigger than I normally do. Let's try that. See if that helps to reinforce. You see, I just cut a thin piece, I cut a piece of paper. Thin that down a little. Yep. I just cut an extra piece of paper. Added some glue to the back. There we go. And yeah, you can see the You can see through to the papers in the back. It's okay. This isn't meant to be a big, you're not a big project, big horrible stressful project. You're not getting graded on it. You're just letting stuff happen, letting yourself have some fun. Okay? So there they are. They're standing up. How cool is that? Let me take our background. All right, let me move this up just a little bit. So oh, whoops. Hang on. Okay, that didn't work out well. Wait a minute. Let's see. Let's do we got it? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh, shoot. Oh, my God. Oh, so funny. So ridiculous. Yeah, okay. Ready? There's our background. There's our little project. It would be better if we could use stiffer paper. Thicker paper, you wouldn't be seeing the blue lines. Those will dry, but who cares? Who cares? Look at that. I don't know how clear this is because of the angle of my desk and everything. But there we go. Oop. Ooh, sorry, Herman's friend. There we go. Now, if you really want something to do, you can add a story. You can make up a story about this, about Scooter and Honey Bear, about the three fishes. Do they all know each other? Is that why they're swimming and boating together? Where are they? Are they on a lake? Are they on the ocean? Are they on a pond? Where are they? Did they travel far to go there? What did they do? All right, Scooter's poor little head. I should have used a paper towel roll, but I didn't have one on hand. It's all right though. The world won't end. So there's the little project. There's the little project for today. How's that? Okay. Hope you had fun. All right? Doobie-doo, doobie-doo, doobie-doo. Yeah, that's it. All right, ciao.